very African, authentic music. I think personally, there. That's it. You listen to music like this, and it takes you back. It makes you resonate, and at the same time, it's from somebody who is young, who is in the now, in the moment, who's making this type of music. And it's very, very interesting to see, because talk about this thing, our roots, where we're going as an industry, whether remember where we're from, because it's all about direction. Knowing where you're from helps you know where you're going. So I'm going to be talking to the guy who made this music, very young guy, and again, I like what he's doing with his sound, how his growth has been. Some of you may know him, but if you don't, I'd want you guys to give us your ear, because we're going to get to know him, to understand why he makes music like this, his process, his growth, what he's been through, the messaging in the music, also very, very important as creatives, as artists. This is Third Special. I'm your host, Jason LA. Very happy to be here, where we have, extended conversations with the creatives, the minds. We try to peel the layers, back to the people who make the things they make and why they make them. And in the studio right now, I have with me Notse. I got that right?
Yeah.
I didn't butcher the name. How you doing, man?
I'm good. Thanks for having me.
Bro, first thing I said is I like your name, Notse. What does Notse mean? Like, it's such a cool. I don't know if it's just me or if you get that, but it's such a cool name. I think.
Yes, it is. Notse means king.
King.
It directly translates owner in Ghana.
Oh, owner.
Yeah.
Wow. So you're Ghana.
Yeah, I'm Ghana.
Wow. So you own a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
Right. Very happy to have you here. And I've had a little conversation with you before this, and I think you're a king in your own right, right? Especially what you're doing. And you heard what I was saying about your growth, the music you make, and why you make that type of music.
Yes,
and I really want to understand who you are as a man before you even go into the music, and what led you to make this kind of music, because it's very interesting, your sound, right? And how long you've been doing this for. But please, let's take it all the way back a little bit, right? Who Notse is and how this whole journey began to this point.
Okay, so I think if we go to the beginning, then we'll go to way back when I used to start as I wouldn't say cover artist. So what I'll do is, when my favorite song is playing out and there are small free spaces in there, I'll try to put my own sound in there. So that's how it started, and then it evolved into trying to use the beat and then creating my own sound out of.
Were you doing this on a professional level, or just, in your
no,
corner,
just for fun. Completely for fun. So I don't know, and it grew into, I think I'm not bad at this. I should really give it a try. So I don't know how to say the journey, but it started from cover songs. It led into featuring on my favorite songs, and then I think when I realized I could actually do this was when I would play my favorite songs, and then afterwards not just do a freestyle, but like record it and then listen to it. I'm like, oh, this is not so bad. I can actually play this after my favorite song, and I'm very judgmental about myself. So once I got that off, I thought maybe I started a good journey.
Okay, so all that was happening, did anybody around you know you loved music, you had the passion for music, or were you very silent and reserved about this dream?
I mean, I was very, very silent. My family knew, but they just knew I was the guy who liked singing a lot and disturbing. Nobody really knew I could sing at all until I was ready to put the product out there, I guess.
Were they surprised when you took it to that next level?
Yeah, they were very surprised, because of my true image and then the artist image is something else. It's two different people.
At what point was this though, that to the next level of, okay, I'm letting everybody know this is what I want to do. I want to make music. Were you like super young? Were you early 20s? Were you in school?
Oh no, it was mid-uni. I was in school by then, mid-uni. I went to class one day I've been going to class, so and one day I don't know, and I just stood up and I was like, nah, I have to. I was doing it, but I wasn't there. I don't know if you get me. I'll come to the class because I was supposed to be in the class. And then eventually I was like, nah, I don't think it doesn't give me any joy. This is not what so mentally my mind refocused into something else. And by then I was still singing. I think it was You Need 200 or so. I was still singing, but I really didn't take it serious. So I think it was Jeso, me and my guy, we went to Jeso's studio one time. And you know, when you are not in people's presence, you think, oh, you are really good. I thought I was on top of my game. So I went and then I think Jeso played some keys. And he was singing here, I was singing somewhere else. I was like, no. It was very, very embarrassing.
One thing I want to know before that Jeso period a bit, because you have this dream inside you, right? This ball of fire.
Yeah.
But you kept it in for a while because usually with creative, yeah, you know, I was in GHS, I was a young kid, I started making music. But Notse is here saying for a period of time, midway through uni, before it's like, but I have to just let this out. I want to know mentally and emotionally, what were those periods like when you see this thing ahead of you, you want to do it, but for whatever reason, you're holding back a little bit. Was it a difficult time for you? Was it a calm period for you?
I don't know how to put it, but it was painful. Knowing that I could, but I couldn't just get myself to. I used to be so scared of being in the music scene, so I couldn't.
That's what was holding you back.
Yeah.
So it was basically yourself.
Yeah.
Living in your head.
Always. Always. So in high school, I would watch them, and then they'll kill stuff, and I'll be like, yeah, I can do this. Then later on I'll say, Anna, you can do this. Why are you not there?
Yeah.
So high school up to uni, I think it was uni that I grew some balls.
I like that. I like that.
Uni,
what triggered it though? Was it just like, I'm tired, I'm just gonna let it go? Was it something you saw? Was it an inspiration of a sort? What triggered that moment? Because that was a very big moment for you. That moment has led to this moment.
A very, very big moment, I promise. I don't know how. I used to think it was just me, but apparently most creators also. I couldn't sleep. It's something that won't let you sleep. If you don't do it one day, you can't go a day without doing it. And it began to weigh on me like, if I didn't do it, I was definitely going to regret not taking this chance.
Yeah.
So I don't know. The first move I made towards it was, I think, a reality show. Yeah, I went to this reality show. Then bounce me.
What was it about? Was it about music?
Yeah, it was about music. It was MT Hitmaker.
Okay.
And
so you didn't even get to the auditions?
Oh no, I did go to I went to, I think, the first round. And the second round, I performed this particular song. They're like, nah, man, you know what you're looking for.
Wait, was this after the Jeso moment or before the Jeso?
Oh no, after the Jeso moment. I think Jeso's moment was my first time in the studio, I think.
And this is very interesting to me because I'm hearing this, and what I'm hearing is a lot of people in these situations would have broken down. Because this is a guy, you have a dream, right? You don't follow it for a while. That fire is inside you.
Yeah.
You meet Jeso, legendary, it doesn't go as planned. Not long after, you go for an audition where I'm sure at that moment you felt like you could have realized your dream. It didn't go as planned.
I was really counting on it.
Right? So, like, all of these walls or blocks were just mounting up against a guy who's trying to follow his dream. What kept you going?
Honestly, I think I had or I still have nothing to lose. By the time I was going to the Hitmaker, I think I had lost my dad.
Oh man.
Yeah, I had lost my dad fresh, and they were doing all those funeral things at home, and I ran away. I didn't tell anybody I was coming to that, and I ran away. And then I don't know when. I thought I really built a castle in my head. I thought, oh, if it is empty Hitmaker there, they will at least see potential. And then this is my chance. I could use it, and then Charlie, because I couldn't imagine life after that. And so when when they didn't pick me, it really broke my heart. I actually went back and told them that, Charlie, I really need this.
Wait,
so
at the audition?
Yeah, well, I went and told them, I was like, nah, I don't think I can go, so they need to give me another shot.
Whoa.
And I mean, I was very heartbroken by then.
And you're dealing with the loss of your dad at this time.
Oh yeah, I intentionally put on the back of my head that, oh, this one there's nothing, I'll go through it, but it was crazy. It was the aftermath. I was like, so yeah, it was very hard.
Bro, you're a tough guy, man. Like,
tried.
you know, I think these things can't be taken for granted, right? These kinds of stories, these kinds of things that go on around us. And I'm sure people watching this have been through, if not the same, similar things where they're trying to cross hurdles, but these things are holding us back. So during this whole period, you never released your own music yet.
No.
All this while. No. So you're just trying and trying and trying.
I was trying.
Okay. So all this happens. You go for Hitmaker. It doesn't happen. What's the next phase in your journey at that point?
So I don't know. Before my dad passed, the most painful part was I had this conversation with him that I wanted to pursue my music career. He was like, "What is that?" He didn't really like the idea. So I was in a hurry. To prove him wrong so bad.
Oh man.
So I don't know. After the Hitmaker, I mean, normally I should have given up, but I didn't see the point. I had nothing to lose, and I really believed. I felt like by then I hadn't scratched the surface of my what I had to give. So people didn't, and I doubted myself a lot. So I don't know. From there, I just locked myself up in the studio. I really did. I'm introverted. I didn't go out much. I started doing more than I should. And I guess that's why I'm here now.
You basically took advantage of the tough times.
Yeah.
You know, because when you're down, you just stay down. You know, when you have nowhere else to go, or you go up. And you said something that I really liked. You had nothing to lose. That mindset is actually very, very important, right? Because another thing I picked from what you're saying is, you know, you're in this period where you know your ability, you know your talent. Come back to the J So thing. Now you meet him and you're being critiqued and you're like, I know how to do this. So, you know, like, what's going wrong? But I love the fact that these things didn't keep you down.
Yeah.
So you stay locked in, you're recording music. Was it a long period after that before you actually started releasing music? Did it take a while?
Oh no,
or was it immediately after?
Oh, it didn't take a while. It was immediately. I had nothing to do, so
yeah.
As I record, no. But the problem was because you are new to it and you don't know much. And I think we young people, our ego too big. We know they listen.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it was a lot of trying wrong things. Oh, I'll do it because this is how I think it should be done. No mentorship, nothing. So it was a lot of try and error. A whole lot. And I think along the line I realized, nah, I wasn't going to be able to do this on my own. So, and I used to, every time my friends float the idea of a record label, a signing, all that, I wasn't really interested because, one, I know I'm a difficult person to deal with when it comes to my art, and I didn't, but...
You wanted control over what you're doing, basically?
Yeah, facts.
Okay.
But after my dad died, that period, I think it was a 1 to 2 year period. So the next year, I said, nah, I needed some help. So I went to try the label thing.
Okay.
Yeah, that one too was dreadful.
Did you drop your first single with the label?
Yeah, I dropped 2 singles.
Okay.
I dropped 2
When
singles.
was this? Around what year? Can you remember was this?
2 years ago.
Oh, that's not too long ago.
No. Everything
Wow.
I'm talking about is within like a 3-year period.
Bro, what? Bruh.
Yeah,
all these things were like happening like immediately after the other.
Fresh,
right?
dangerous.
Wow. I'm just thinking of how you were processing the loss of your father, somebody you loved. And I don't even know if you had time to process it because of everything else you were doing. Sitting here at this moment, right, before we get to the label, did you actually process how much losing him affected you in the fact that you wanted to do something to make him proud? Probably prove a point, probably show that, you know, I'm not wasting my time. I can do this for the rest of my life, you know, and take care of my family. Have you processed it enough, do you think?
Right now, I think yeah. But when it started, I'm the firstborn, and
Wow.
you know, my family is not used to this lifestyle or this trajectory, so they frown on it. And when my dad left, I have 2 siblings, so we were on our own because my mom had passed earlier. So it was like people were like, now you're not getting anybody. You sound so they go enter music with no help. They honestly they weren't going to help, not because they didn't want to. They just didn't know how to help, and they were constantly telling me.
Did you ever question yourself? When everybody around you who loves you is telling you these things, right? And one thing I've learned about life is, when people are giving us advice, it's not because they don't necessarily believe in us, but they're actually scared for us. Really, so, they're telling you, like, Notse, you're going to make music. A lot of artists don't actually make money from music. We see the lives and the struggles. What shows you're going to be successful? So we're like, maybe they might be right. I mean, or not at all.
Me, mom, that one not they enter my head. At all. I don't let it. But once in a while, when the struggle becomes too tough, you're like, Charlie, I myself, why are you putting yourself through all these things? But I've come to understand that it's the journey. Once, if you don't quit, you get some reward out of it. Yeah.
Okay. You will. Okay. So now back to the label, right? Because again, very pivotal point in your career. How long did you sign on to that label for? If you could remember.
It was supposed to be a 2-year deal, then we extended afterwards.
Okay, a 2-year deal. What do you think was the reason for that relationship breaking down? Was it something they were not doing on their part? Did they want to control your creativity? Did they not allow you to release much? Because I think these things are important for people who are up and coming, right? I always say an artist's first dream is just to be heard. Sometimes you're not even thinking about the money
at all.
Right? I just want to prove a point. So now Notse gets something that every single other artist is probably dreaming of, but you get there and like, it's not everything I thought it was gonna be. So what was the reasoning for why, or the reason, sorry, for why it didn't work out?
I think one thing about, I wouldn't say artists, but myself, I built a lot of castles, like dreams in my head of how it was going to pan out. I used to do that a lot. So I pictured the label thing taking off because I felt like, I've taken 2 to 3 years to really cook myself. So I was ready for the next stage. And then, I mean, I wouldn't say the label was a bad thing, but I realized that as an indie, you'd most of the things are your say so. But here's a situation where these people do not know you and they do not trust you at all. It was the trust that was sickening. And when it started, I used to be mad at it. And I came to understand that we are not the same people. What you see is not what somebody sees. And I think we just didn't meet eye to eye.
Okay.
On almost everything.
Wow.
Nah.
Bruh, that must have been a tough relationship.
It was crazy. That was the craziest year of my life. By far.
Wow.
And I'd lost a lot.
Yeah, but like that's what I'm thinking of. Like you lose all these things, you're chasing the dream. It's not going as fast as you'd want. And trust me, you're not the only one who has a plan in the head of how it's supposed to go. But life is going like just calm down, it's going to like calm down. We're teaching you lessons on this journey, and all of us have made mistakes. Whether you regret it or not is individual to you, but the mistakes are going to come. It's not going to be a smooth journey. So okay, all this happens, bro, and you get off the label. You'd release 2 songs with them. What was the next step? What was the next plan for you? Because it was like a very high point at the beginning, I'm assuming, then it just drops again.
So I don't know how to explain it, but it's like a spaceship, and it's meant to take off, and then after trials and everything, the thing gets to maybe building level, and it just crashes. So it means you have to start all the way from zero, and then what I realized was that everything I'd done within that 2-year period didn't matter because I couldn't use them. I couldn't use my name. the brand itself, everything went back to zero. And that was the point, that was the deciding moment for me whether I was going to quit or not. Because I didn't have my basic needs. And here I was saying, oh, I'm going to compete with the big people in the industry. Why are you going to pass? And within that, after I led the label, I am very pompous sometimes. I used to say to myself, I remember my friends would come to me and say, oh, I have a creative block. I'm like, what's that? Like, what's that? Yeah, that was the time I experienced that, and I just kept quiet about it. Right now, when somebody's saying, "Oh, it's life,"
I get it.
Life can teach you. So
at least you learned.
I really learned. The hardest way. So it got to a point I couldn't write music at all. I am someone who likes to have music is really fun for me. So there could be a beat playing, then I'll be doing something, and eventually I'll be having fun, and then I'm stuck in it. But here's the situation, I couldn't even have that anymore when I take a pen, and I stopped using a pen for a while. I went so far into all those vibe things, I wasn't really using a pen. And then, right now I'd left the label, my life had turned upside down.
So do you have a name before Notse now?
Oh yeah, I used to use Larry J.
Larry J. You can't use that name anymore.
Nah.
Do you own the songs, or you can't perform them? You just let it go with the label.
Yeah, I let it go.
You let it go. Yeah. Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Bro, I'm getting more context into the difficulty of what you went through.
Yeah.
But bro, Notse makes way more sense. Trust me. Sometimes you don't understand why things go the way they do, right? But it makes way more sense. Notse is exceptional. It's rooted in who you are and the music you're making now. And I think to where we're going to get to in the conversation, everything has worked out. It didn't seem like it, but you stuck to your guns and it's worked out. And for everybody who's going through that process now, nobody can explain it to you why you're going through the process and how you should deal with the process until you're out of it.
Yeah.
It's when you're out of it, you can say, I went through that, now I understand. But when you're inside, you can't tell anyone or explain it for them to understand, basically. So, name change. All this is happening. Your music, you left it. Unfortunately, Daddy passed. You went for competition. It didn't work out the way you wanted it to. Bro, financially, what position were you in at that time?
I think that was the hardest part. When I came home, it was my younger brother that was taking care of me for a while, and I never really spoke about it. But mentally, it's crazy for you, who is the savior, to come and sit at home, and then right now you're dependent on your younger siblings.
Oh man,
it was very, very humbling. And financially, he and it wasn't just about money. It was just being able to afford your basic needs. He helped me come to a certain level, and then my friends took over from there.
Wow.
I had a lot of help. That was when I realized I really have amazing friends.
Bro, kudos to you for sharing these things, right? Because it's not easy to talk about, As men, we have responsibilities. We can't run away from these responsibilities to our parents, our families, our loved ones. And I don't think even the world understands the pain a man goes through, right? Growing up, we didn't get why our fathers weren't around as much. They were outside working, man.
A lot.
A lot of people feel like daddy wasn't there, he didn't care, but daddy was providing from a distance.
For you.
Right? For real, right? And you're sitting here talking about these things, in a very calm state because you've been able to get through this period. But again, big ups to you, bro.
Thank you.
You've gone through it, and now you're here. But one thing I want to know, the name change, at that point, did it affect the brand? Because there were people who knew you as Larry G, right? And the songs you released, did it, business-wise, what was the difficulties with the name change like? And the fans responding to it?
Okay, so I think business-wise, not as much, but the name, that was when I realized the name was more than a name.
Okay.
Because when I was Larry J, I used to do a lot of love songs, things that were meant to distract, let's say, Lawrence from real life, fantasies, a whole lot of. And then when I became Notse, I don't like the year I really became Notse. I went to the sea more than anything anything in my life. I don't know. I'm speaking about this like it was a normal experience. I was very, very crazy. I was a lot, and this you can't run to anyone. It's only you. So you either face it or it breaks you. And after I went through that, I was troubled more than I had ever experienced, and I couldn't find peace at all. And it started from, do I say girls? It started from relationships with girls, trying to see if I could be saved, I could be healed. Nothing.
So you're trying to find avenues to cure what you're going through.
I didn't even understand what it was. Then I would go to the beach constantly. Not just to, and those days I would go there to have fun. But this time I wouldn't even tell anybody. Then I'll be there on a deeper level thinking, and I think that's where my major song came from. I had never been able to tap, or not been able to, I've always been scared of the spiritual aspect, not knowing what I would find. But after that, I saw very crazy things. I remember I used to pray, oh God, open my eyes, blah, blah, blah. And when you open my eyes, it was too many things. I was seeing too many things.
Yeah.
So, I don't know, Notse led me to a more spiritual aspect of my career. And I think business-wise, it honestly has done better, or has been doing better than Larry J could ever do. So,
bro, this was divine, man. Like just the name change, you know, the spirit, the vibe. These are things, again, we can't explain
at all.
You know, that happened in our lives. But as I was saying, all these things have led to here. It seems like you're a man who's really found yourself through your struggles. And that's something that, again, you can never explain these things. Like, you won't even understand it unless you're able to get through it, bro.
Yeah.
So all this happens. What was the first single as a Notse? What was that song?
That was Work and Pray.
Oh, we listened. Okay, yeah.
Work and Pray.
I was listening to that.
Yeah. Work and Pray was the song I made after my dad passed. That was when I realized I was on my own.
Oh.
And I find it very difficult to process my feelings. So it's mostly after I finished the song now, I realized, oh, so this is what it is. I can fix it this way. And so Work and Pray, it lifted some sort of burden. It's not something I can explain, but after I made a song, those days I wasn't really a sharer. So it means everything did my head top. And music was the only way I could get it off my chest. So I think the Work and Pray, that was when I learned to give it to the music. Those days I used to picture music a whole different way. Then I realized when I let it go on there, it actually goes. And I don't know, since then, that has pretty much been the approach. But Work and Pray was my first song as Notse. And I don't know, it was my first, I don't know what to say, spiritual song. Because it felt different from the other songs. The other songs are about,
what's Work and Pray about?
Work and Pray is about a boy who had just realized that he had no support coming from anywhere. The Krobo says that Inye brodo, imbe weku. I have bread. So I mean, I haven't explained it like this before, but when my dad left, you know that you have some small inheritance, some small money, which I thought was plenty by then. So I had that. I didn't have a family. Men and Mahami Wino, who will give me the source if I don't work for it. That's how we know I have to wake and praise you. So it was just saying, okay, so I have this money here right now. I don't have any guidance, nothing. How am I going to figure it out? That's how Work and Pray came
So basically about you.
Yeah, always.
But I'm sure a lot of people are going to be able to relate to it. When you were Larry G, were you making music like you are now? because you know in the intro I was saying like your music sounds very rooted in your culture and who you are. Were you always making music like this?
When I was Larry J,
Yeah.
I was even shy to be a gun.
Oh.
I don't lie to you. I along the 3 years, that's when my hometown is Labadi. I mean, down to sick of some things. I mean, my dad wanted us never to go back there. So I had never really been home. And I lived in a neighborhood where, you know, people only speak Pidgin and then the tree that we all speak. And my dad didn't really speak Ghana with us. So I was struggling with Ghana. And then, I don't know. So that was how I kept going to the beach, the La side, Wager side. I didn't know who I was. Because if I wasn't Larry J, then who am I?
Yeah.
And I was trying to find myself and then be able to boldly say, yes, I am a Ghan. And I don't know, through that, an entirely different sound came up. That was when I started using this.
Please tell me about this. So what's that for those who don't know?
It's a castanet. And
okay.
I think last week I was asking people the local and they said Fichua.
Well, I'm not even gonna try that. Well, I'm not gonna try. I'm telling castanet.
They said Fichua, so I don't know.
Please do something. Anything.
Oh, like I can perform like a 20-30 seconds of Mijo.
Yeah, that's cool. That's cool. We would love that.
Father, let's show me direction. Enemy won't follow me, go die away. Ega bua bi mami sabena. I'm go mommy oh I dem vexing me lolo. Hey, follow me die away. I'm a mommy oh say my vuvuzela. It's not loud enough. Are you a failure? Yeah, so.
But you didn't have to end it.
Oh, Charlie.
No. Oh, bro, that's fire.
Yeah, thank you.
Wow.
When I wanted to figure out and finding myself, I found Wulome.
What's that, please?
It's a group. It's a music high life.
Okay.
I remember I was listening to them. Like, what kind of sound is this?
Oh, the Ghana group.
Yeah, the Ghana group. And I don't know how to explain, but their song carried some spirit. And by then I was going through it, so I was feeling it to the highest. And I realized this was in there, and I don't know. This helped me balance well into that sound.
Okay.
I was also finding it difficult to tap into my Ghana roots. I don't know how to explain it, but it's like I was far from it. And then this guided me. The Wulome sound, eventually I started to get the hint of it and I realized it's my turn. This is rather easy. And it flowed. So I don't know. And it used to be when it became hard to create music, I couldn't, so I would have songs that replay in my head. And then right now I have a tempo, I can command the sound with this. Instead of, oh, I don't have the studio time, blah, I just do this, record it, and then later
you can create on the go, right?
Yeah.
I also love the fact that you're talking about, you felt like you were lost. You don't have a problem with being honest about this, that you were very taken away for whatever reason from your culture. So you had to retrace your steps and find your way back, that route to yourself.
Yeah.
And I'm sure people watching this who are from your community, even not, are really going to appreciate that. It's just a man who was lost, you know, completely, for the struggles and all these things. But he made an intentional effort to find his way back. And that's led to the successes you're having now. Because, bro, your songs are dope.
Thank you.
What's Mijo about?
What?
Mijo, like Mijo.
Mijo?
Yeah.
Mijo is a cry. It was a cry out. There was a hole inside me. And as I said, I had lost a lot, but I'd never experienced this much pain ever in my life.
Yeah.
At all. So, and then that was when I realized I wasn't so Ghana either. you know, me and my siblings, it's either pidgin or English, and I didn't really speak Ghana that much, unless the surface Ghana, more insulting and things. And it was overwhelming to really find out that, oh, I'm truly Ghana, and I could boldly say it. Those days, it was, yeah, me, my family people, you know, they like me. Oh, these Ghana people, oh, blah, blah, blah. And then I went back. I remember I would open Ghana YouTube pages, trying to figure out the culture, not on the surface, but deeper. Trying to figure out, oh, what all this. You know, I used to be scared of spiritualism. And I grew up in a very Christian home too. My grandfather doesn't link with that side of. I used to think it was the bad side, but it really wasn't, or really isn't. It's just a spiritual level that I didn't understand, or we don't understand. So getting to figure out that culture, that sound, I realized I wasn't new to it. It accepted me, and then it also helped me. I'm born at La, and then where I live is like a few steps away from the beach. I had never gone to the beach, and I used to be so scared of the water. But before Mijo, I conquered that fear, surprisingly.
Bro, I like this story, man. I'm enjoying this. I'm enjoying this. The cool thing is, you know, in the midst of everything, you're still releasing music, and you have a new song.
Yeah.
The highlight for today's conversation. Please tell me about the song.
Yeah, AMAGEDON. So I told you about the label thing.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Me, I just left. One day I was there with a friend of mine, and I realized that I'd become too much. They were either going to break me, or I had to break free. And it was afterwards that I realized, oh, those days I used to bash artists like, oh, this guy's not tough, this small thing. I had to go through, like, other people around me were seeing it as something not so deep. And I was in constant pain, so so after I removed myself from that situation, I went back home. And I don't know, I honestly started feeling like a failure. So in one of my songs, I said that because I expected so much of myself, and I thought, oh, nothing's going to get in the way, and then all of a sudden, I can't see the dream again. And so I was home, and by then I dropped work and pray, and these people came to my house. I said, oh, what's up? So blah blah blah. The song, we had a certain misunderstanding. And then the thing escalated. And then one guy was spitting outside. He said...
That's the record label.
He said he's not part of the record label, the record label's friend.
Okay.
He spit outside. He said, and I had no problem with him. And he said, I ever see somebody, poor man, to not make him before. I think it's like the movie, Anna.
Wow.
So I remember that day I went on my knees. I was like, God, hey, if you don't make me, if you don't make him, hey. And so the new sound was titled AMAGEDON. It was something, it was melodies in my head. So once in a while I fix something there.
Okay.
Once in a while. And these were people who told me I was a terrible writer. And then when I came out of there, I told myself I was going to, no sound would be untouchable to me. So AMAGEDON was, I think it was my first time really trying a drill sound. And it was supposed to head towards I was feeling a lot of anger. It was supposed to head towards a lot of chaos. And then eventually I was like, nah, I don't need to be giving these people. And I also realized that when I give energy into evil things, they multiply. Every day I'm angry, I'm fighting with people. It became too much. True. And then I I said, okay, I'm going to make that money that they have, that it makes another man want to say all that to you. I want to see that money so that at least I can
Charlie,
cancel
thank
that
God
out.
say God no be man, man. Like, bro, one thing I've learned in life is give, you know, the CEO as much respect as you give the cleaner, because the cleaner is important, right, in their own way. And I'm not saying this to talk down on anybody in any stage of their lives, but, you know, we all have our role to play. Some people are just far ahead, but the main thing here is respect. You give human beings respect, because I've met people who've had it all and lost it. And I've met people who had nothing and made it all. Met people who had it, made it, lost it, made it. And when they're telling you these stories, you tend to wonder and try and understand life. But at this point, I don't even think I'm trying to understand life. I'm just going with it. It's right. So it's a very interesting thing you've been through. And to put that in your art, in your music, one thing I want to talk about before we wrap up is, at this point in your career, what does your culture, your Ghana culture mean to you? Looking at everything you've learned, what you've lost, what you've gained, those who disrespected you, your Ghana culture and your fans, what do they mean to you at this point, man?
I think I'll speak for the Ghana culture first. I think it means everything to me. It's what saved me when I had nothing to lean back on. That was what I fell on, and it was what centered my sound. So right now, whether it's a hip hop song, whether it's a gospel song, whether it's an R&B song, if it plays and you know Ghana, you know where I'm from, because it's you feel my Ghana culture always. There's no single time. And I think on the fans' perspective, I mean, I've never really had fans until lately.
Well, I'm sure you had fans, bro.
No. So I felt I've had people. I didn't know my music could do that. I've had people text me, yo, blah blah blah. That was when I understood that I used to be selfish about my music. It was just my therapy, to take my pain away. And I understood that it could impact somebody that way. I mean, that has been the most mind-blowing thing for my music to impact somebody else. Not just on a fire emoji level, but on a, help me through this.
I like that. You know, one thing is, no matter the awards we win, no matter the accolades, the fans, the compliments, I want to say, we get, nothing compares to, you know, touching somebody through your art. Say, Charlie, you helped me through this period, man. But I've had people who've spoken to me about suicide and considering suicide, and nothing in this world, not to be even cliche, but a cliche is the truth. Nothing compares to that. If you can talk to somebody out of that period, or if something you do can help somebody out of that period, nothing compares, man. And I feel like, at that point, you have a lot more to explore, but your experiences have taught you as much as what you even think you can explore, right? So I want to say a very big shout out to you. Thank you. This new music, is it out? Where can we find it? Where can we buy it?
AMAGEDON is out. It's out on Apple Music, Boomplay, it's out on Audiomack, it's out on Spotify. It's everywhere.
It's everywhere.
You can find it everywhere. It's on YouTube too.
When did it drop though?
2 weeks ago.
2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
What's the plan for this year before you go? Are we going to get more music, more albums, performances? What's the plan, man?
Yeah, so
now you're on 3 music, bro.
Yeah. Yeah, so honestly, I was going to drop an EP right after AMAGEDON, but how it goes, it looks like I have to drop another single, so I don't mind. I'll drop a single, but my EP is definitely coming out this year. It's just a story about my journey so far, and then fusing it with other genres, not necessarily Afro like everything else, but trying to find the balance.
Yeah.
So yeah,
bro, I'm proud of you, man. You have to teach me how to play this. You have to teach me, man. That's the deal we're making on air. You have to teach me.
I'm sure if you have a deal.
Where can we find you on social media, man?
I'm Notse on all social media. NOTSE NAE.
What's the NAE, please?
Nai, that's my surname.
Oh, so Notse is your name?
Yeah, that's my.
Bro, you have a nice name. What? Bro, no Larry G. This is the name, bro. This is
Thank
the
you,
name.
thank you, thank you.
Bro, you have a really, really nice name.
Thank you,
And
Jason.
to speak somebody who is an owner and a king, because you own your music and you're a king in your own right to get through what you went through.
Amen.
The people who look up to you, please don't lose sight of what you're doing. I like that, you spoke about God and your spiritual connection to him, because we're human beings at the end of the day. We make mistakes, but to learn from them and to grow and to accept our flaws and be humble is the most important thing on this journey. I'm so happy I've spoken to you today. This has been Thread Special. I hope we get to speak some more.
Me too.
I really hope we do. And I always tell artists, this is your home, man. 3 Music is here to support artists, support the creatives, push you as much as possible. If you have anything, send us an email, go into our DMs, come to our studios, present your music. I really believe my brother is going to do very, very big things. Can't wait to hear the music and see more performances from him. And to you guys, the most important part of all we do, the fans, we appreciate you so much. Thank you so much for tuning in. We have a lot of interviews coming through this year. Have a good one.